welcome to another video on the Alpha Strike We Play channel. Today we're going to be having a look at the Nasier forces from the Rising Conflicts Wrath of Kings, the Book 2. Okay, so basically Book 2 talks about the progression of the war from Book 1. So if you've read the story from the Book 1 and then you read this one, you should be up to speed. But yeah, so the book basically has all additional units for all the other factions, but we're just going to have a look at Nasier to begin with. So
they are the first one in the book.
That's right, they are the first one in the book. So I'm joined here today with Tarron.
Hey guys.
So also known as Wereman. You've probably seen him in some of the other videos. Big Goritzi fan.
Very expertly playing games. Yay!
And also with me here is Cameron, also known as GingaNinja on a lot of the forums.
Because obvious.
But
more obvious.
Decided that Nasier was his faction, so we've asked him to come along and join us and just sort of, we'll have a bit of a chat as to what the new stuff is and whether it can help him win some games. He does alright. He does alright, he wins games. He wins games. Alright, okay, so let's start. So what have we got here? Who's the first unit there?
Ashman, Firehawk, and Firehawk leaders.
Raid leaders. Alright, so what do we know about these guys?
Well, the good thing is they now flesh out your force big enough so that you can take it all Ashman force if you want to, because you have enough specialists and leaders and ranked troops to pull it off. And they also have their first rank 2 troop, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay.
And they happen to kick ass. The Ashman Firehawks have
pretty
solid.
they're very, very nasty, actually.
So they have 2-inch attacks, and they have an ability to onslaught. So basically they can continue after they kill a dude to kill another dude, to kill another dude, to kill another dude, to kill another dude.
Wow.
It's good fun.
Have a look at the story and things like that, and they have some sort of, is it a psychic link? Are the masks linked or something? They can communicate?
They communicate through
something like that.
The masks, whereas I think the Ashmen were bonded.
Yeah.
These guys can actually communicate, so they have part of the magic ability through the masks, which is pretty cool.
Right.
And yeah, it's pretty good.
Freaking awesome.
Do you like just going back to the book 1, did you use a lot of the Ashman?
I did. I preferred the Ashman to the Palagarth House.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Mainly because
why didn't you
everyone
use them in our game?
very Palagarth House.
Just sort of try them out.
But the Ashman
Palagarth are nasty though.
They're more brutal. They do more killing. You got more stopping power.
So I know the Ashman from book 1, if you sort of fight one-on-one, they get some benefits and things like that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Whereas most of the book 2 stuff in Nasier seems to be very much around combined attacks.
Is that the same with these guys?
Same with these guys, because they've got the 2-inch range, and they're training if they wish to take the Ashman leader as bolster, which allows them to effectively
assist actions up to 2 inches. Normally you have to be in contact with the guy that you're assisting, but if you can assist from 2 inches.
2 inches. Which means the line of these guys is brutal, because you can assist, and then every time you kill, you get another attack.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
It just rolls through a line. So they're a really good line breaker. So against anything like Dragon Guard, the mercenaries, they've got Tuscan mercenaries and that sort of stuff. Anything that likes to line up and shield break.
He's just loves.
He says Goritzi wrong on purpose to make me go insane, and it's working.
You have to get a t-shirt.
I'm going to get one.
Gortaski! Gortrisky!
They're special.
They're the Russian.
Oh god! So it should be pointed out that a lot of the new units in the new books have the same trait as the ones in the original book, so you can activate them all at once.
Yeah.
So your Ashman and the Hakars actually have the Ashman trait, and these Firehawks have the same thing. So you can use a Firehawk leader to activate both Firehawks and Ashman, and you can combine them in various ways and shapes, and it's actually really, really cool.
Well, the Firehawk leader himself has an ability that allows him to pretty much bolster anywhere through tactical expertise, regardless of range. So long as he's part of a combined activation, he can hit anything along the line.
So he's got tactical expertise. So during a combined activation, this model may perform an assist action on any active model regardless of range, and that attack gains precision 1.
Yeah.
So they suck. That's it. No. Okay, next.
So you're still going to be limited a little bit by range because you've still got to activate.
You still got to activate. So it's a command group. But if you've got them in a line, and he's sitting behind, you can effectively go from one line to the next. He can assist down here. He gets double the attacks, kills a model, gets a secondary attack. This guy then gets assisted from this guy, and he gets a secondary attack. You can line break. So a central line break. Yeah. They come up to anything that shield blocks and just goes bang through. Wow. So the rest of your fast movement can really come through and cause a lot of havoc.
And they've got a slightly better version of my follow through on the Scorza skirmishers.
Okay.
So the skirmishers make a kill, they can move up to 2 inches and make a 1 dice attack. These guys, the first time each turn this model kills an enemy, it may immediately perform one of its melee attacks. So they don't get a move, but they do get to perform another attack. So
and their base attack is 2 inches.
Yeah. It works out to the same thing.
Was it?
Okay. It works out to the same thing. So but it's really actually really good.
Okay.
So that empowered assault, if they're not engaged at the beginning of their activation, they can move up to 2 inches, perform a War Trident attack, and until the end of the activation, the War Trident gets an extra die and Unstoppable 1, which switches the first non-strike to strike.
Yeah.
They also get Onslaught. So the first time each turn this model kills an enemy, it may immediately perform its attack again.
Wow.
It's cool.
So it can move, it can hit somebody. If it kills that somebody, it can then hit somebody else. And then you got it backed up with the Firehawks. It's insane.
The Harker from book 1, what was the Inspire? And does it work? Does it help the Firehawks at all?
That's a cool question.
Just a sec.
I don't remember that.
Pause for effect. Yeah, pause for effect. Tarron's going to look something up here.
Because I like the fact that his Inspire and training finishes that unit. The downside then is you would have to take him as your primary leader. Which is not a bad thing.
There you go. So the Hakar's Inspire, if this model begins its activation engaged, its melee attacks gain +1 die this activation. So if you
really want to
have
get that kill,
a Firehawk and a Hakar both within range of a group of Ashman and Firehawks, you can alternate which one activates them. So
because they are going to move into range after that first 2 inch move. So they're going to move up, hit, do their double attack, wipe a unit, and then the Hakar can reactivate through. That's
so
cool,
the Firehawks inspires when performing a combined attack. Enemies may not use actions or abilities that trigger off defense chart results.
So no counter attack.
Counter attacks, you can't do
blowback,
side steps,
nothing like
backlash, any of those.
Which is funny because if you actually use his ability with a line of Ashman and then use the Hakar once they're engaged, you'll effectively have 2 attacks right through.
Whoa. I reckon they gave that a bit of thought when they were designing these guys.
Combining first book and second book guys is really powerful.
Yeah.
You really have to read through it and see what everything does.
Look, at being rank 2, you're not going to have as many. So you sort of want to look after them. Use them in a support role, which they're actually quite good at.
And they are 2 resistance. They've only got 1 wound, but they're 2 resistance for a base level troop is not too bad.
Wow. Okay.
Not too bad.
The only downside is they're slightly slower than the Ashman, 6v7.
6, yeah.
But it's because they get the 2 inch move on the attack run when they activate as a combined attack. It's not actually that bad.
You just have to be a bit careful about how fast you move the Ashman and where.
Yeah. But at least with combining the books now, you get a feel of being able to actually focus your forces again.
Yeah.
So you're less inclined to be mixing up units. Like you probably still have some Palagraph off to the side, but you're more inclined to go, I'm either going to be an Ashman player or a Palagraph player, and work those abilities back together. Whereas before you're a little bit limited to either strike or defense. So the Palagraph quite defensive, Ashman quite offensive,
and they get separated if you don't. Yeah, if you
keep them around.
So that's kind of cool. Because I do actually like the idea of the Ashman. I do.
Absolutely.
So this is really good. This, like you said, allows you to take an all Ashman force with a bit of variety. You can actually do a lot more. So.
Yeah. The only downside on the Resident didn't see me use them as much is because they are a pain to put together.
Because you have
off
to
with the little bits.
individually.
I think everyone can agree on that.
No.
Whereas the Pelagos were cool, you just went done.
Yeah.
Paint were off. That was good.
Bit of skin tone, bit of black.
Yeah.
So we give those a thumbs up.
Oh,
alright?
they're awesome.
They
Yeah.
are kind of
And
cool.
again, you're not allowed to have them.
They awesome.
Yep. All right. So what's next? What have we got here?
These guys are
we talk about
worse.
Pelagos.
Yes.
So another type of the Pelagos mask. So the brutes and the wardens. So they're quite interesting. The first thing I notice about them is the range on their attack. 3 inches. Thank you very
It's
much.
casual.
Thank
It's
you
casual.
very much.
It's very
And
casual.
2 dice at 3 inches as
Yeah,
well.
that's
So
right.
nasty.
Yep. And replacing 2 dodges with
Yeah. So
Parries.
with 2 parries. Sorry, with hits is nice.
So,
That's nice for your guys because you're all parries.
parries and dodges. So
Parries
he's going to get extra strike locations on my charts and things like that for my show hard. So not looking forward to that.
That's good.
But
That's good.
really, really good against like any sort of light, fast-moving troop types and
types.
specialists.
Yep.
They're the ones you want to send against them. They are really, really good for that.
Yeah.
So
Drag through ability, chain pull, so
Yeah.
they can grab things, drag them, or they can choose to attack them at 3 inches and drag them closer, which is good. Especially good for pulling characters out, because that seems to be one of the fastest
Yeah.
way to shut down motivations.
Yeah.
Is pull a character out of a group because
Get
they're
the character
protected,
out of it,
Yeah.
out of
beat the
formation.
snot out of him, and then leave those dudes sitting out in the middle of the field who can't activate because they activate singly.
yeah,
So that seems to be a really strong archetype at the moment for most of these guys. In the book 2, I've noticed they're getting a lot more units. I think originally it was only the Gortaski that had access to characters that were good defined, like the Dragon
Twitch.
Lance Queen and all that sort of stuff. Whereas now in book 2, I've noticed most of the forces are getting access to character killers.
yeah.
Which is important because it's a really good way to basically speed up the game and control your motivations.
If you're really good with these, I know like rank 2 characters have a lot of abilities and things like that, but if you start losing leaders, you might want to start looking at just having lots of rank 1 leaders instead. Sacrificing some of those hoopy little abilities, but just make sure that you've got characters, leaders that can actually look after the troops. Because if they start getting wiped out, your troops are left out in the open. So
Yeah.
So there aren't many. Most of the actual leaders that are reasonably good are rank 1. I mean, the Pelgraph brutes are rank 2, but their leader is a rank 1. So they do that a lot. My scores are in alphas are the same. Same thing. So it's but
Army selection, very important.
But
Yeah.
deployment zone C, another thing too. So they do actually deploy forward quite a bit, which is handy.
Yeah,
If you want
yep,
to take
yep.
objectives. And
yeah, same as the
whatever.
Pelgarth. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're on 40 mil bases. I'm pretty sure the Pelgarth are only a 30, aren't they?
Yeah.
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 So
Yeah.
they've got a bigger
and good
base.
movement again. Like six for Nasier seems to be a nice synergy. Moving at 6-7 is a very good movement spot.
Yeah.
Because they don't have a lot of abilities that involve running, like dodging around and all that sort of stuff. So the ability to move up very quickly is very important.
Well, with that 3-inch range on the attacks, you know.
How fast do you really need to go?
Yeah, that's right.
Seriously.
And they're going to, at some point, you're only playing on a 4 foot by 4 foot table. So eventually you're going to lock horns.
Oh, yeah,
They're going to
yeah.
come to you. So, but that 3 inches, that does make a big difference on the game. Really, really does.
And you combine their chain pulls in the right way, get them combined activation and doing the right things, you can drag a whole front formation away and then yank a character out of there. And
Yeah,
just-
true. True, yeah.
So, yeah, bad. And again, you can't have them.
So the actual warden, the Inspire, if this spell engages the enemy during its maneuver, that enemy immediately suffers a melee attack. That's pretty nice. Kind of liking that.
Yeah. So,
So as soon as you, like, just getting into base contact with
just getting the base contact and you've got it.
Wow, that's really cool. And the training, when this model begins its activation, engage with 2 or more enemies, its melee attacks gain unstoppable. So you get an extra strike on the table there of the enemy. So
Yeah.
extra dice and extra strike locations. Yeah, it's not looking fun. Not looking fun for my guys. I
No.
really don't like them at all. So.
And the brutes are a 2 defense as well, 2 resistance.
2 resistance.
as
Two,
well.
two
So
and 1. So
that's 2 new infantry units that have 2 resistance.
Mm.
I'm lucky to get a character with 2 resistance. So
and if you do like your Pelagars, you know these are a great
They
addition.
are.
They work quite well with them.
they
So-
would work really well
And
together.
sharing the leaders around too is actually quite good too. So.
Yeah, as
And
much
this
as I
is
do
like
want you to
evasion.
take them, they are awesome.
Yeah. So they're good. So I actually like them. I give those a thumbs up as well.
Let's face it, everything's
Everyone's got them pretty much, but I do actually, I like the idea of them. I like what they're going with.
They're very
Oh,
cool, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So what's next?
My
So a
favourite edition
specialist.
of the new book.
Okay.
My favourite edition, the Arcs and Great Wing, is
Who can't actually fly.
They
It's weird, wasn't it?
they don't. If they gave these things fly, you'd cry. You'd give up on the game.
I'm already
It's-
trying. We've only gone through the first 2 units. I'm a bowl of Mars out here, man.
They have the first blades that I've seen in the game that cut through armor resistance.
Yes.
So all those wicked high-end characters and troops that you've got sitting around that rely on that resistance because, like rank 2, they've got low hits, but they've got the 2 resistance keeps them going. They immediately destroy that.
Yeah.
You lose 1. On top of that, they have an ability called Wing Buffered. So when they activate, they can push all models that are size 3 or less up to, what is it, 2? I think it's
In
3.
contact
In
directly
contact,
away 2 inches.
2 inches away. So if you land this guy in front of a troop unit, and most people hide their characters now because they've learned you lose your characters, you've got big problems. He goes, buff it, walks up to your character, goes flat.
Yeah.
What's even scarier is the first thing I saw when I read this guy was the idea of running palagraph brutes around the side, chain pulling units out, and then walking this guy through and just going character slapping. So if you gave him fly on top of that, he wouldn't even need them. He'd be able to do it himself. He'd just
Yeah,
fly
just
straight over the
himself,
top, land in and whoop your ass. People would give up. You just go, well, I can't stop that. So I'm actually glad, even though he's got the most beautiful wings and he's a sexy model, I'm very glad they didn't give him fly because you'd give up. You'd give up.
It does,
That is really powerful.
it does have deflection though. It's quite good.
Deflection is
As well,
good. Can
especially
vary
with
the
the
magic
range.
and the range, which is
Yeah.
good. So we can actually engage a lot of the
Mages
Mages and
things
stuff
that
like
are
that.
Yeah.
Your thing.
which is good. Which is actually something they mentioned in the beginning of the story in book 2 was I like the fact that they were talking about a lot of the, especially House Nasier, but I'm sure all you guys have the same thing. They've created a lot of specialist units to counter. So in the first of book 1, we all had a lot of good little troops, specialist and characters. You could build a bit of synergy with your force. Book 2 seems to be a lot about countering certain things.
Yeah.
So how you build your force becomes almost as important as how you buy your force. Because you even though you might want to specialise in, say, all palagraph, and you want to go really defensive with and chain pull and all that sort of stuff, you're going to want to get a Great Wing in there.
Yeah.
Because you're going to need something to deal with those hardcore characters. And the ability to deflect, ranged, and magic means he's going to survive. He's going to get up to you, and he's going to lay it in, which is really good. But it makes it more difficult when you start thinking about how you're going to combine your force.
Yeah, true. I mean, if you want to take control of a section of the board, you're picking out your troops and these specialists that are actually going to help you do that, and they can do that.
Yeah,
You know, they're so good. So, and you can't hold with that wing buffer as well because they push models away.
Yeah, that's
it's
when he
hard to hold him
activates.
down.
Yeah.
So if you try to swamp him, if you don't kill him, he's a poof, and then he's out of there. So
Yeah.
he can't fly, but it doesn't matter. Like 6 and 3, you can still do a 10-inch move if he just wants to get out of dodge. So that's actually kind of cool. And rank 1, and they're not unique in any way, so you can have multiples of them.
You
Which
get
I
2 in the
intend
box,
to.
probably.
Two
so,
in the box, which
Yeah.
is quite good.
Yeah. If I
that's
could
where
fit
it's at.
4 in a standard army, I would.
Shut up. See, I'm just really happy they've only got a 6 will, and you should be too. When we get to your fox guys, you should be happy he's only got a 6 will.
Yeah.
I'd prefer a 5, obviously, but 6 is so that gives us a chance to do funky stuff to him. So it's like
There's a reason I take the character leader that gives my whole army buffers. There's a reason for it.
seriously.
Yeah.
I have to
I don't
find
care
that
about the other abilities.
God
I
damn
have
it.
him, so the
Yeah.
whole army gets the willpower buffer. Because that's Nazi's pretty much their biggest downfall. Is
They have all these powerful things
Will.
that only have
magic.
magic.
And
Yeah.
they're not very offensive with their will. Like, they don't have a lot of shaman. They have some cool shaman. But
Yeah.
they're not like your shaman or his.
Well, I've got the vampires and things. That
Or
Yeah,
what's that
vampires.
Techness giant dude like
The cage.
engine
The
that just
cage.
goes, "Ooh, you got will on your board." And you're like, "Hmm?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We won't talk about the cage.
No.
But these guys are good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know.
And the model is beautiful.
In a larger battle game, I think is the battle, is it? The big one?
Battle.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
battle-
Battle level, yeah.
You've got up to 8
You've got an
special
option
choices,
for 8.
up to 8 if
special,
you really
yeah.
want. That's a lot of activations.
Four's enough.
Four's pretty
Four's
good,
good.
but
Four's
Are you going to stop at 4, are you?
I'm
sure?
only because when we turn the next page, you're going to see what else I can put in those special slots. So then you're going to be like,
all right, well,
oh,
let's see the big plan.
Oh.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
So
and
what's
then
this?
you've got that one, and then you've got,
Let's go ahead. Let's just take our time. So,
Take our time.
So, Sarvis Shadow Veils. They're the next ones we're going to be looking at.
Looking at the horrors one at a time.
Another rank 1 specialist. Yeah, these girls are interesting.
They're
actually.
interesting.
Yeah, and the
They're
story is
interesting.
actually quite interesting too. They're not from a big temple, you know. They haven't really done a lot. They don't produce a lot of warriors, but they don't have a lot of. Because with the masks, I don't know if everyone's read it, but with the masks or whatever, they can actually have, depending on how powerful the mask is, they can have a lot of casualties from just trying to bomb them.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
even though this temple doesn't actually produce a lot, their success rate is like 99%
Way
or
higher.
90. It's
Yeah.
it's huge.
They
So-
take it very slow, apparently. Though.
That's what it
They
is,
Take
yeah.
their time, and they do that because the shadow bonding is very, very, very difficult. They train them right up to the point where they're ready, and then they
yeah.
bang it on. They're not trying to pump these guys out, which
Let-
is why they're probably so good.
Little trick or something. They basically, because they put the Afriti, they bomb in the mask or whatever. They live in the mask and they put the mask on it. So they had a look at how they could modify the mask to make it more comfortable, to make the bonding more comfortable, and that's how they got their success from it. So there's a little story in there about how, like, physically the mask doesn't seem to change much, but like the wearer would see something different. So the world would be like a little tinge of blue, or everyone would talk in an accent that was kind of weird,
this
like
here,
you couldn't pick it.
One bearer was tempted to give up her mask when all food began tasting like grilled beefsteak.
Wait,
That's not a bad.
that's it.
Yeah,
I
I
know
know.
now.
I don't
That's
know,
right.
everything.
I'm having
Cucumber,
ice cream.
grilled steak. Come on.
Yeah, chocolate.
I could go for a grilled steak apple.
Yeah.
Why not?
Breakfast usually tastes better.
But that's but I mean that's kind of cool. Just a little bit of a story thing there. But anyway, what do they do? Let's have a look. So movement
What
4,
don't they do?
will of 4. So the will's a little bit lower.
It is.
That could be exploited
is.
somehow, I'm sure. But 2 resistance and 2 life. So they're still quite tough for rank 1. That's
They
pretty
are a
cool.
specialist, but they're not characters, so they're not unique.
Yeah.
So you can have as many as you want, as long as you've got ranks for them.
But they can be wounded on a 6+ before you start modifying the chart.
Yeah.
So they a little bit fragile there.
That's similar to my Scourge Hound.
Okay.
She gets dead pretty quickly, but they're a 2/2, so they'll probably survive way longer.
Yeah.
Um,
All right. So
Yeah.
what weapon attack do they have there, Cam?
It's a knockback attack, so very similar to the original of the Howlets. However, they've cleaned up the wording in Book 2, which I really like. So knockback now specifically says, before results are generated, each enemy targeted by this attack is forced 2 inches away. If the enemy movement is stopped by another model, the model stopping it suffers 1 melee attack.
Okay. Because it's
So the front model takes 2 and the back model takes 1.
right.
Which is good. So the original knockback was a little bit. That's how we played it, but the wording was just very slightly off. So now it's very clear. It's like slap, move, damage.
Okay.
Which
Yeah,
is
that
great,
makes sense.
Which
That's
is
kind
great.
of cool.
And I mean, she's got the beautiful thing about these guys is, again, 2-inch range,
2-inch range.
Yeah.
nice
Dice.
big hammer
Yeah.
with 2 dice. So you don't have to put yourself right into harm's way, which is why I think they've made them a little bit less defensive. So you don't have to be face to face with things. You can be knocking them at 2 inches, knock them back, and then do more damage. And again, the strength of these, like the Hounds and the Bloodmasks and the Palagarth in general, was always moving things out of position by forcing you away. So you're always trying to force holes so you can get through it for objectives or again for character specialists,
Yeah,
whatever,
characters.
hunting, that sort of stuff. Where they've gone to the next level with these bad boys is this wicked ability called Shadow Stamp.
Which I need for my will.
You don't need those. They're
I
fast
need
enough.
it. I need it. I need
You're
it.
fine.
As soon as I read that ability, I was like, nah, come on.
Basically,
guys, this
it
is
means-
crazy.
During free movement, this model may move through but not end on friendly and enemy models.
And enemy models.
And enemy models.
So-
So you can move through everything in the game.
Oh, So not scenery,
Not
but
scenery,
just models.
but models. So
Okay.
the biggest defensive tactic you can pull to either protect a character or an objective has always
to
been
whack a line of models
the
in front
line
of it,
of
and they
models.
can't
Or
move
the
through it.
U-shape, the U is quite common. I've
Yeah.
seen a lot of that tactic used because it's solid. You've got to get through that unit just to get at a character or to get through them to get them to the objective. Even with the knockback, all you were really doing was just forcing the wave apart slightly. These guys can go straight through you and knock your line this way, which starts separating. And the minute you start separating characters and units from areas, it makes it very difficult. They can actually bring you back.
Yeah, they
Towards
can chuck
the
you
rest
back
of your
towards the line if they want to.
Which
I mean,
is
it leaves them a little
awesome.
bit open, but they're pretty solid. So
They'll survive. With the 2 resistors, they're pretty strong. And
They've
the
got
fact that they've got a
counter attack
counter attack
and a sidestep.
and a sidestep is what I love. If you get a dodge result, they immediately may perform a free sprint action, ignoring disengage penalties, which combined with the fact that they can move through models is
Yeah.
And another thing too, I just had a look there, size 3. So she's a bit taller than the average trooper. So if you've got leaders and standard troopers and they're all intermixed or whatever, she's got a 2-inch reach as well. Like she can see your leader. So just reach over the top, whack.
And she can technically put multiple targets, so that those 2 dice can be split up because it's a melee attack. You're allowed to split those dice.
Yeah.
So you can whack 2.
Do you get
people
knockback
away.
on both of those? Just out of
Yes.
interest.
Every model you attack, you don't even need to
each
wound it, you just hit them.
targeted.
You just target them.
If it's targeted, you can
that's
move it 2
quaint.
inches away, and
quaint.
that isn't worded as directly. So you only have to end further away than you began. So you only have to move back a millimetre and then 2 inches that way.
Yeah, you can push them push them sideways. But you combine those with those brutes because they're also size 3 and they have that 3
They
inch.
have 3
You
inch
just
range as
reach
well.
in, pull them out, and then she could easily finish off a character.
Yeah.
Easily. You get some
Yeah.
good dice rolls. Done.
Yep. You can bounce them through.
I played a game the other day against Pillar, and I lost my Winterhawk from like some really good dice rolls in one round. So there's a rank 2 character with a lot of abilities. He's gone. So it's nothing to say you can't do it with this one here.
Yeah,
as well.
no, definitely.
Very, very scary.
The only thing you got to be careful of is anytime you're setting up a Palagarth line, is keep in mind that ability with a knockback where it injures another trooper. It's not enemy, it's model.
Model.
So if you are stupid enough to rip him out and then knock him back into your own dudes take the punch. Sometimes it might be worth it, like tactically, the sacrifice.
Why
Yeah.
why
But-
are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself?
Because you're a punk.
I like that. I like the idea of this specialist unit.
Yeah.
Actually, I really
They're very
do. They've got a
cool.
really good feel, and I can feel that certain motivations, are going to be a real
Well,
problem.
with a
Yeah.
6-inch move and a 4-inch sprint, you've got 10 inches and you can go through whatever you want. That's pretty solid.
It's casual.
Yeah.
It's casual.
And what does she start? Oh, she's a B, so
She's a B.
deployment.
So she's
in
a little
B's
bit back, but that's okay.
10-inch move.
She'll drag
take
you
you long,
with you.
get where
You'll
you're
be
going.
See, so Nasier actually have access to escort civilians. So you have them
That's my favourite.
moving 10, can't stop them with troops. She's going to move right through, and she can defend herself.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
that's solid.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
again, you're not allowed to have them.
Yeah, no.
I'm just going to
These
call
are all
that
great,
all
but-
of these. You're not allowed to use them. You're back on.
All right. So
Ones.
what else we got? So Azari Warhounds.
Warhounds.
So these are kind of interesting.
They're interesting.
They're very cool.
They're my least favourite of the new specialists, but that's only because the
Really?
other
Really?
specialists
Oh, well,
are
yeah, I guess
really
I
awesome.
like
It's
them.
Gonna, what are you going to do? But they are cool. 40-inch base, basically 2 models on the base, much like the little toady dudes with the hammers defending the technics and stuff. Very similar concept. Ridiculously fast. They get a 6-inch sprint instead of a 4-inch, which is cool. They've got a little guard dog that can sit there, and if you come near them, she engages and attacks, all that sort of behaviour. And obviously, if they're engaged with more than one enemy, they get offensive expert, which means they can re-roll dice, and they've already got 2 attacks at base. Other good thing about them is one resistance but 3 wounds, and very high hit casualties, so only 8, 9, and 10,
Yeah.
which is pretty good. So to me, she is a hold up unit.
Yeah.
She's a run over the side, hold up something, force them to come at you and engage her, like sit her on an objective or whatever, and then people are going to come in, they get attacked when they come at her, She's pretty solid defensively, pretty solid offensively.
Yeah.
She's a pain. She's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, this once per turn, if it becomes engaged, it gets to hit someone with a 1 die attack.
Yeah.
If it gets hit and not killed, it gets to hit someone with a 1 die attack.
Yeah.
And if an enemy disengages from the model, this model may perform a free sprint action. So it doesn't matter what you do to it. If you go anywhere near it, it's doing
You're
something.
stuck there.
You're going to get hit. She's either going to follow you or run away if you're stronger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But who says you have to have one?
Well,
You know,
that's
just
true.
Get
That's
them all
true.
together and
Have a
run
nice
all
little
together.
A wave of hounds.
It's actually kind of, it's a funny story because the picture has like a dog with the mask on or whatever.
He's
So,
kind of cool. I like him.
Yeah, but I mean they can't, you know, because when they put the mask on, if the wheel isn't strong enough, you're gonna get consumed. So obviously dogs, you know, animal intelligence and things like that. So that's what they were struggling with. But they had to look at the bonding the two masks together. So you got the dog and the handler.
Yeah.
So the handler's will is what's actually keeping the dog's mask in check. But it's cool. Like when I first saw the picture, I go, it's a dog with a mask.
It's a dog with like a red mask on it.
Yeah, it's like Deadpool's dog. So
Deadpool's dog.
Yeah. Except it's more angry.
yeah, but lots of little hoopy abilities and things like that, and can be quite tough. I mean, on an 8+.
Yeah.
So they are kind of cool. I know. Okay, so they're not your favourite, but I would actually like to see these on the battlefield.
Oh
I'd
yeah,
actually
yeah,
like
yeah.
to see how
I'd
they
like
go.
to.
I
You
think
want
they'd
to
be
give her
right.
a bit of a test and see how they run. Especially against big units. That's what I'm using her for.
Yeah.
Tying up big units. And just
Yeah, if you've got something huge coming down the battlefield,
constantly
just
just
running
throw her
them at
away,
it.
see what happens. They'll get some attacks in. You can follow around.
Yeah.
You're not disengaging. I actually thought she'd be wicked for some of the new, really fast, Gordiski dudes that like to line jump.
Yeah.
Attach her to them.
Yeah,
So they
that's
give you a
right.
lot of free disengagement, but she's moving pretty quick. She's pretty 6 as well.
Yeah.
So keep them up and just use her there as like toggle activation. Make sure she's got the assists.
They're interesting for your wolves because as soon as if you don't, well, I mean, you have
If
to
I-
kill
if I
something to get
disengage,
away, but
she
you
can
can't
follow
go down.
me.
But she just
Yeah.
follows you. So
She can follow me, and if I hit her and don't kill her, which I seem to regularly do, if I engage her, then I get hit.
that's it.
You lose all over the place, man. It's just insane.
All right.
I
Okay,
will.
so let's have a look at the next one. So Cameron's been waiting to talk about this guy.
I think he's in love.
This
The
guy.
miniature
I think
was
he's actually in
featured
love.
quite heavily on the internet when they're starting to do the previews for the new releases for Book 2.
And why not? He's
And
awesome.
exactly
Look at
right. Yeah.
You know.
All right. So Core Callan. All right. So
Callan.
let's have a look. So
He's a big boy.
he is a big boy. Interesting story with this fella. He doesn't seem to bond too well with masks. He tends to absorb their power. Like the mask will disappear, but he'll keep like a trace of some of their power. But he just they
Sucks
put
in.
Pelagarth, they put Ashman, they put everything onto this guy, and he's just sort of been building up and building up and building up. The guy just wants to go and serve on the front line and protect his country and,
And
things
they
like that.
keep shoving masks
fair
on
enough.
him.
But they keep him in. But the last one that he had was a
Great
great horn
Yeah.
or whatever, and it got interrupted, so it sort of stopped it now. But he's huge. He's on an 80 mil base, and he's got all these abilities. He's absolutely awesome. So
He's insanely powerful.
he's rank 2.
Rank 2.
He's a specialist character, so thankfully there's only one.
Yeah,
That's
you
the
can only have
downside,
one.
really. That's the only downside to him is you can only have
Oh,
one.
come
I
on.
was it necessary?
You got like 8 of that other guy that you just take one for Christ's sake.
Well,
God.
4 Great Wings and Core Kalam.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
You-
feeling.
yeah.
I'm just saying it. I'm throwing it out there.
he can actually fly. So
He can actually
that's good
fly,
fly.
which is cool, and he's movement 6, so he's getting over models and that. But one of my favourite new abilities from the book is toggle abilities. They seem to be coming through for all
Yeah,
the
there's quite a
forces.
few of them
Each
now.
force
Yeah.
has a toggle
Everybody's
ability.
got one at least.
But he's got a special ability that allows him to put one of his toggles into effect for free. So instead of jacking an action and then using the toggle ability, he can basically pull it off for free, which is great because his best toggle ability
Is an actual attack
an
one, so
actual
you can
attack.
activate it for free and then use it in the same turn.
So he gains 2 attack dice and precision 2, which means he can adjust results up, 1 or down.
He's already got
and he
3.
starts with 3 at 2
So he
inches.
gets 5 dice
5 dice, 2
with
jacks.
precision 2.
It's yeah. Bye.
Ouch.
Ow.
So you don't need to use a toggle if you've got that on and you're in a attacking stance sort of thing. If you end up in a defensive area, then fine, put the other 2 toggles on. What have you got? Enemies that become engaged or begin their activation with this model suffer a 2 dice magic attack. Ow. And an aura 6 inches. Enemies in the area suffer -2 movement and cannot disengage from friendly models.
Oh,
See, I-
hello, characters.
Just do that just to root him. To be
Yeah,
honest.
specifically just to annoy the living crap out
I
of
could
me.
kill things, or I could fly this guy right in the middle of your force and just go.
Yeah, now you're not allowed to leave. Yeah, woo, good luck killing me. I'm a 2/3.
Wait,
You suck.
I'm sorry, I
And they
asked you
only
to
allow
come
you to
along.
have
Yeah.
one. Why one?
No.
2 would be better because then I have one of each side of your force.
Oh.
That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying they let us
Yeah, well,
down.
you're
They
not allowed to
can't
have
put me
two.
or not where I
It's just
one.
Well, petition
Just
it. There you go.
Just one. All right.
If everyone's
Email that shit
everyone like sends an
Yeah.
email or whatever,
If you give me
they might
100
do it.
likes, I will
No.
send that thing to me and say we want 2 modifications.
You're gonna
stats,
start
please.
another list that's gonna say you're not allowed to have it.
Yeah, just say no.
Just say no.
Uh,
Oh no, he's so good.
You'll end up having to settle it on the battlefield. You know what's going to happen.
I know.
That's it.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
yeah,
He's
he's going to win and
cry.
I'll end up crying.
He's
Oh.
gonna cry in the sidelines.
You
mate.
might still get the sympathy votes.
I might do, yeah.
Yeah.
Make me hurt really, really bad and people will vote for me.
So he can actually be wounded on a 7+.
He can.
So for
He
someone
can.
with all these abilities and things like that, but
but he's still
But
too.
he is
he's,
a 2/3.
he's 2/3.
Yeah.
So yeah,
He's
he's got to
gonna
have
take a bit to
something.
take,
So.
yeah.
And he's
Uh,
got 2.
And he's size 5.
Yeah. So
Like-
you can see everything,
Yeah. I mean, come on.
and everyone can.
On an 80 mil
That's
base.
alright. That's alright.
Yeah.
Come at me. I'm cool
Yeah,
with this.
yeah, no.
With a 2-inch range on his attacks.
Very cool.
Lot of range.
Very,
lot of range,
very
which is
cool. Yeah, and
that's and that model.
And
I'm
the model is
sorry,
beautiful.
is
Absolutely
just
stunning.
Stunning. Stunning.
So you're going to have to spend a bit of time just really, really getting in all the details when you paint that guy up too. So
It's funny, but no, you can't. It's alright. You can't.
No?
That's-
What? You're going to make it even worse.
No,
man.
it's fine. They thought that one out pretty good. That's good, but yeah. No, he's got lots of hair. He's got lots of arms.
we'll do some tactics videos another time maybe, and we'll see what you can do and what you can't do.
No,
whether-
just put a couple of Tarrons. What are those? Piss out. Oh, those wolves. He's got.
With skirmishes, scores of skirmishes.
Scores and skirmishes. We'll just
Can
put
we do a
nice
sign
little
that says
chain-
breaking for murder?
chain of the model. Just in there, and what we'll do is we'll just surround them and just show you just how good they are at just ripping them to shreds, and they die horribly.
If I cry on camera, it's fine.
Let's move on before,
That's-
before Tarron breaks down.
Game on,
Alright,
son.
Okay,
Game
alright.
on. Let's
So
do
from
this.
the actual same box set that you can buy, we have this character here.
Yeah.
So
She is
Belinda.
cool. I
Number
like her.
two, number
Yeah.
2 fave.
So-
Belinda
Acceptable.
Rabar.
So not a tank, they're quite opposite in fact.
She's your
No.
speedster.
Yeah.
She is
She's
a
your
lively
ghost.
individual. She's awesome.
So an individual, so a rank 1, so you can basically fit her into any size battle that you do, which is kind of handy. Standard side base.
Standard size base. Yep.
Yeah, 30 mil base.
And special deployment zone.
She
stuff
has
as well.
the
It has
infiltrate
infiltrate.
ability, which is
Infiltrate.
the same as the Dragon Slayer. So she
Yeah.
can come
No
on
man's
board
land.
anywhere from no man's land back to your baseline, but she does that after everybody else is deployed.
Yeah.
So
Which
yeah,
is
it's
cool.
powerful.
Which
it's
is
really,
cool.
really.
Because I really don't like your Dragon Slayer.
No.
So having her there
Oh come on, she's cool.
is beneficial.
So yeah, I mean, if you have the Dragon Slayer and this chick deployed on the battlefield and they're near one another,
That would be that would
that's
be nasty.
very
like Donkey
interesting.
Kong.
Yeah, Dragon
Yeah.
Slayer's like pretty nasty.
Oh, yeah,
As
yeah.
a Nasier player, if you
Yeah.
think you can get off that first initiative roll and everything,
Yeah. Yeah.
nasty.
Yeah. Not to mention she's got backstab on 3 dice. Which is cool. That's another one of those cool
Yeah.
anti-resistance abilities. It's
So-
basically replace the lowest result on your chart with a hit, and it automatically does damage. no
Does
matter what it
damage.
is.
Yeah.
So
not
if
not
you
a
roll
hit,
a
but
one,
damage.
basically, if you
Yeah.
roll
Yeah.
a 1, you're doing a point of damage to the person you're attacking, which is just
Sticky
insane.
resistance up
So
to
that
salt.
cuts straight through resistance, everything. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
You've just got
nasty.
damage. So
Only downside again is like the Dragon Slayer, she's a little bit brittle. I mean, 8's up, but she's only 1/2.
yeah,
So you really need to get her in, kill something, and just write her off.
yeah.
Yeah.
The Dragon
She's gonna
Slayer
assassin
is
something.
slightly better off because she's a 2/2.
Oh, okay, that does make a bit of a difference. Yeah.
You're a 1/2, so I would have a slight advantage there, but you've got all your hoopiness, so it would be pretty even, I think.
She does have Shadow Step, which is handy.
Again,
Yes,
she
which
moves
is the
through
same as
models.
those
Yep.
Shadow Bale ones, so
Yep.
she can go through her own models as well as and enemy
And
models.
enemy models. So
And the fact that she's got sidestep again, so if she rolls a dodge,
Yeah, if
she
someone
can lead
attacks
off
and rolls a
with a
dodge, yeah.
6-inch sprint with it's just
And that's five results out of the 10 are dodges.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've got a
She's
reasonable
nimble.
chance of her just running away.
yeah, which is
5
what you
results
want.
on dodge with an 8+ to actually wound her.
Yeah. So you want to run in, kill something, and then she's bouncing out.
Yeah.
She's off, and then you either track her or you come after her in my force, in which case she's free to go kill something else.
But again, you know, that same like escort civilians and things like that. She's got a
Mm.
movement 7. And she's fast.
And she's fast. So that's 13 inches of movement.
Yep.
You can get a long way with 13 inches,
Yep.
especially from the edge of no man's land.
It's round 2. I've just dropped your morale by 2 points.
Yeah, basically.
And there's not much you can do about
There's
it.
not a damn thing you can do. Whoops. Yeah.
I like her. She is good. So
Pretty
yeah,
good.
if you like your sneaky
Specialist
stuff.
1, Specialist 2. Maybe I should have 6 grey wings.
We've got to beep her right. I can do sweary words at him.
Although then you miss out on some of the very good specialists from book 1, and one of those specialists has that will bubble, which is very useful for this force because
Yeah, well, she's only
Yeah.
a 5 will, so
Yeah.
stuff that messes with your will is going to affect her super quickly.
So yeah, I think 4 great wings. These 2 absolutely menaces to society, and then 2
the
bubbles.
guy with the will bubbles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's going to lay down the spec.
Yeah, that's cool. So there we go. So that's all the new units for House Nasier from book 2. Overall, they're overall really cool. So some interesting
really
sort of
cool.
stories behind them. So yeah, I really like it. But let us know how you go. Leave some comments if you've used any of these units. Also leave some comments there. Let people know how you went with them. But yeah, that was
Especially
really good.
if you were like kicking the bejesus out of Gutarski. Even leave a photo.
Seriously,
of it.
put the sign up.
Like this is me smashing face.
Yeah. No, they are really, 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 really cool. There's all of the new units in the new book are just awesome,
Yeah.
but those are particularly
They are good.
funky.
Yeah, I think people get a lot
They
of
get a
joy
lot
and a lot of
Yeah.
pain out of it.
And the fact
So
that you
it's-
get both in the box, I love. You don't have
Yeah.
to buy 2 boxes, you just grab 1 box and you've got 2 best specialists in the book.
Oh, in the book. Okay. Challenge accepted.
Hands down.
Big call. Big call.
All right, everyone. Thank you for watching.
Cheers,
and
guys.
We'll see you again soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.